Alfonso believes that students learn best through active involvement in the learning process, leading students through science research culture, encouraging scientific research, mirroring an actual research laboratory where students' collaborations and teamwork are valued. Sounds good. Let's see what you got.
Good afternoon. Hello. I would first like to thank Dr. Yager and NSTA for this great opportunity. Today, I want to share with you some concepts and ideas that I have thought about and experimented with in my learning community in Portland, Oregon. To start the conversation, I think it is important to first examine how we view knowledge. For me, education is not so much an accumulation of knowledge by students as it is a process of acculturation into an interpretive community. This means that as science educators, one of our roles is similar to that of a tour guide leading travelers through a foreign country. But in this case, we are leading our students through the scientific community. In light of this, we must recognize that some students may face challenges and difficulties transitioning back and forth between their culture and the scientific community culture. Therefore, cultural awareness and addressing equity is of critical importance. A second point I would like to consider regarding knowledge centers on our beliefs about epistemology. Epistemology is the study of knowledge and justified belief. As educators, I believe it is essential that we examine our own beliefs about knowledge. According to Monk and Osborne, epistemology does matter because the answer to the question of how we know is an important aspect of our account of science and the evidence for our ontological commitments. Furthermore, according to Sandoval, sophisticated science epistemologies are instrumental towards improving students' understanding and practice of scientific inquiry and essential for full democratic participation in the 21st century. So one concept that I came across as a result of exploring my beliefs about science epistemology and reflecting on these beliefs about how we build knowledge in science is an examination of the prevalent model in science education. Typically, this model portrays students imitating scientists. Students do X and Y, learners should do X and Y. A slight change to this model that I have found useful is proposed by Ross. This model provides flexibility and creativity to incorporate various ways of constructing scientific knowledge that may be more productive for students depending on a specific context, situation, or topic. So what does all this look like in practice? Incorporating the philosophy and nature of science begins with leading students to wonder and inquire about the natural world. Socrates said wisdom begins in wonder. Understanding the nature of knowledge and the nature of science enhances students' experience of inquiry learning. Additionally, providing students with opportunities to think historically about science allows them to understand the development of scientific ideas and theories, rather than just experiencing the end product of scientists' work. So here students examples of the practices that they do in the classroom as they analyze primary sources in science education. Students should also go beyond building models and often be asked to understand the meaning and implication of the theoretical components in a model. These are things that we're already doing in science classrooms. However, I believe one small but critical piece involves reflecting on our own beliefs around how scientific knowledge is built. And more importantly, making this reflection explicit in our learning communities. In conclusion, I want to share with you the following quote. The pursuit of science education is not the same as the pursuit of science. Science education is different. It is not simply education in science, it is education about science. Kouladis and Ogburn suggest that it is thus important that teachers have an adequate understanding of the nature and philosophy of science, so they can grasp the syntax of the subject that Schulman identifies. Schulman was the one who wrote, "The teacher need not only understand that something is so, the teacher must further understand why it is so, on what grounds its warrants can be asserted, and under what circumstances our belief in its justification can be weakened and even denied." This journey has made me realize that understanding science concepts well and clearly is only the first step. We must also understand the historical and philosophical components of these concepts towards developing excellence in science education. Thank you, and to be continued.